Threaded on the back side. What I really like about these ones is the nipples that we're working with, and lastly our bucket. Funny story, not so funny, is my drill. This nipple in there, get it lined up right. So we got another package in. It came through the post office out at the mailbox from our friends at Heritage Acres. I'm really excited about this one. They sent us poultry nipples that you use when you're making a water. I've actually seen these ones in use and I really like them the best. I've looked at different kinds. I've even used different kinds in waters that I've had for our own backyard chickens, and I think these ones are going to be the best. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get it open. I'm going to show you what they look like, how to get them installed. We're actually going to make a water using these water nipples so you can see exactly what it looks like, and you'll know how easy it is to make a water of your own for your own backyard chickens. So let's get this box opened up and let's get it going. Here's our box from the post office. It's not very big, as you can see, so that means the product isn't very big, so that means they've got a fair amount of cushioning in here to keep everything in good shape. Get a slice of this label here. Make sure I'm using my knife properly. Alright, so here we got a bunch of paper. Alright, they include, they have a podcast. They included some sticky notes. And here's our actual product. So you can see it comes with the installation tool here. We'll get a good, so we can get a good close-up. They're threaded on the back side. What I really like about these ones is they have a small little cup. So you see some that have these really big cups, and you see some that are just a part that hangs down. So these ones you actually install on the side, not from the bottom. The issue I've had with the bottom ones is they tend to leak. And they just have these little cups here. So those big ones, those are nice, but they tend to get filled up with gunk and sawdust or pine shavings, whatever you happen to use around your chicken coop. So this one just has a small little one, which makes it really convenient. It's not going to get quite as dirty, and they mount on the side. I'm really excited about these, and let's go get them hooked up. Alright, I'm out in the garage. I got this all set up, got everything out that we're going to need to make this water, so let's get started. We have our drill bits, our tape measure, which we don't technically need, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I got it out anyway. We have our thread tape or plumber's tape, whatever you prefer to call it. The nipples that we're working with, and lastly, our bucket. This bucket's kind of small. I'm making this water for our friends. They only have 2 birds, and one's a quail, so they're pretty small. Plus the area they have for the birds is not very big. So this bucket is going to work out perfectly for them. If you're making water for your chickens and you have more than 2 small birds, I'd recommend probably a 3-gallon or even a 5-gallon bucket. But today, this with 1 nipple in it is going to work out perfectly. So let's get started, let's get it put together. This is right on the packaging for the installation and training instructions. I wanted to show this to you just so you can see really how simple it is and easy to follow. But it says right on there for the installation, you drill a 3" hole, approximately 1 inch from the bottom of the plastic container. Wrap nipple with thread tape, screw nipple in 80%, drill a breather hole in container lid, fill container with water. So pretty simple, really basic, easy to follow. Alright, so let's actually make this, get it put together. First things first, the instructions say to measure up 1 inch from the bottom of the bucket. So, like I said, I'm kind of a perfectionist. You could probably guess about where 1 inch is at. But here are our tape measure. There are a bunch of 1s measured onto the bucket. So that kind of gives us an idea of where I need to drill that hole at. So I'll get our drill bit ready. We need the 3/8 bit. And funny story, not so funny, is my drill actually died. I don't know what happened. Perfect timing, I guess you could say. But I had a freshly charged battery. I put it in, and I don't have anything. So I don't know what happened. So I kind of cheated off camera, and I put a hole in the bucket. Luckily, this bucket is fairly soft, so I was actually able to just push that in there and to be able to put a hole in there. It's not as clean as it would be with a drill, but it should work. And if you're working with like a 5-gallon bucket, that's going to be a lot harder and thicker plastic. You're definitely going to need a drill to be able to get through that. But this works for me for today. So we'll take out our nipple here. Set this off to the side and get our thread tape. Thread tape is pretty easy to work with. I'm just going to tear off a chunk here. And if you haven't worked with thread tape before, basically what it does is it fills in these grooves here in between the threads. And so that way when water gets in, if water gets over there, then the water's going to run into the thread tape, and instead of leaking out of your threads, it's going to be stopped and sealed out by the thread tape or the plumber's tape. And so get this wrapped around here. It can be kind of finicky to work with. I'm not necessarily a huge fan, but it is fairly simple to do. There we go. So that gave us a few different wraparounds, which should be pretty good. All right. And how you want your threads to work, your thread tape to work, is if you notice, I was wrapping it around this way. So when I turn this nipple to the right to tighten it, it's actually going to make that tape tighter. Whereas if I did it the other way, this thread tape would actually unravel itself as I'm tightening the nipple into the bucket. So just a little tip there, make sure you get it wrapped the right way. And next up, take our bucket with our hole. I'm going to put this nipple in there, get it lined up right, and we're going to twist it righty-tighty to the right. The instructions say to twist it until it's about 80%, which looks like right about there. I'm not a mathematician, but that looks about 80%. And if you remember, these nipples have these little cups, and so you want that to be lined up at the bottom. And there it's in, and just like that, we're done. Now, obviously, if you're using a bigger water and you're going to be doing more nipples, you would have drilled, maybe 4 holes. If you're doing a bigger bucket, I'd recommend spacing them kind of evenly, so that way birds aren't going to get crowded. So then you would just take more nipples, put more thread tape in, and just twist to the right. It really is that easy to make. What also came in the package from Heritage Acres Market is the insert tool. So I didn't need to use it today, but how you would use it is you're going to put it into your drill. That works, because unlike mine, make that tight. And then you would put this tool, it's going to fit right on top of there. And then you would take your drill, there we go, like this, and you would spin it, and so that way it's going to spin that nipple right into your bucket. So, if you got sore fingers, your hands maybe aren't feeling 100%, or if you're doing a lot of nipples, that can be a lot of twisting and can be cramping on your hand. So it's not something that I used, but if you feel like that's something that would be beneficial to you, I would say 100% go ahead and get that included and save your fingers some hassle. The next step would be to put a lid on top. I don't have that, and I'm not going to be using it because they keep their birds right now. It's a nice covered area. This is going to be sitting up a little bit off the ground. With your hole, you would drill a hole, or with your lid, you would drill a hole in that so that way it can breathe. So air is going to go out of the, air is going to flow through there and make it so the water is going to flow as well. And how this is going to work is the chickens will peck at this nice shiny metal thing, which is going to put water in here that way they can drink. It's not the big cups that are going to get nice and dirty, just a little one. These are great nipples. All right, we got our water all made. As you can see, it really is easy to do. The instructions are easy to follow, and I think everybody should have one of these for their own backyard chickens. A special thanks to our friends at Heritage Acres Market for sending us these nipples. I really do think that these are the best ones, and these are the ones that you need to buy when you get ready to make your own water. It says right on the packaging, lifetime leak-free guarantee. So they're a great company with a great guarantee, and these are the ones that you should get. We'll put a link for you down in the description, so when you get ready to make your own, you'll know exactly where to go. Appreciate you watching the video. Keep following us on our blog at backyardchickenshq.com, and we'll see you there.